On the panel, we have Anand Vardarajan, Business Head, TATA Mutual Fund. Welcome, Anand. Anand, could you tell our retail traders and investors how this budget will impact the financial markets?
I think the way we were approaching the budget was this is just statement of accounts of the government because this is not a full budget. I think the most important number that one has to look at here is what is the gross and net borrowing that the government has. This number last year was roughly 15.5 lakh crores gross and roughly 11 lakh crores net. I think the good news is that this time around for FY25, the number being tabled is around the same numbers, which is sub 15 lakhs of gross borrowing and about 11.7 lakhs of net borrowing. And the fiscal deficit number coming at 5.1 was a very, very big relief. So I think the good part, if you think about it, the markets, India has been doing very well. I think these are established truths known to all. That I think we've had excellent monetary policy movement, the way RBI has led it, and I think on the fiscal side there has been a lot of prudence which has been shown by maintaining the fiscal deficit, by staying within the budget and so on. And it just means that from both sides, the bowlers are doing a very, very good job. I mean, think about it in a cricket parlance sense. And that's what makes it, even more robust as an economy and even more compelling for someone to look at India, both from a monetary side and from a fiscal side. I think we've seen some fantastic numbers and some fantastic trajectory, and that's really helping. So these are really the key highlights. If you were to look at it, this is really something which stands out.
Any measures in this budget that will encourage savings and investments?
So I think it's not really savings, but this whole Lakpati Didi scheme, which the government had announced, and there was some traction. There is further impetus, which the FM has mentioned, with respect to with respect to strengthening self-help groups, and how women especially can come to the fore by borrowing, by enabling themselves digitally, and so on. And they've seen some success. I think now they want to strengthen this even more. So that becomes an interesting place where uh, we possibly could see a lot more of self-employment going up. Um, I think instead of giving a fish every day, teaching fishing is far superior, and that's where some of these kind of investments, which is not something which is a leakage, but more something which becomes self-sustaining over a period of time. That's again a big positive I thought, which I heard today. In as far as other saving avenues are concerned, I think it remains largely unchanged, like you rightly mentioned, be it direct, indirect taxes. I think we'll have to wait for the full budget to then figure out what happens, or if at all there are any changes. But I think all that has been left largely untouched.
And finally, any initiatives in this budget that will promote financial inclusion?
I think separately, just as an aside, nothing to do with the budget, but if you were to look at the kind of SIP flows that we've been getting in the industry through mutual funds, that number touching 17,000 crores, or for that matter, when you look at how much of financial savings is happening, think about it this way, that we are a roughly give or take $4 trillion economy, roughly 25% savings rate, which means 1 trillion is the saving. Roughly 50% of that 1 trillion, which is $500 billion, is hard assets. Of the remaining 500 billion, roughly what finds its way into equity is just, is just a very small trickle of that. I think if this 5% number in equity, if that were to go to 6, 7, 8%, I'm not saying this is going to 25%, but I'm just saying if it goes to 6, 7, 8%, that should be quite large, and that really is the opportunity. And that is not going to happen today, tomorrow. That's a long-term kind of a this thing. But some of these nudges which are getting created are perhaps the right path to put us on that 5, 6, 7% trajectory, I would believe.